I mean, that'll work. Yeah.
All right, hold on.
And tomorrow I'm a guest judge at a Halloween festival.
Hold on, guys. From the mountains of central British Columbia to you listening around the world, this, my friends, is Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. We welcome you to tonight's show, including Kingdom of Nye Radio and Revolution Radio. If you want to take a listen to our archives, they are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you. You can rock out to Bumblefoot, read up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire, sign up for the SOR Space Travelers Club for $5 a month. We read the night. If you need a new book, it's right there for you, and do a little shopping at the Spaced Out Radio store, which we call the SOR Vault. Tonight's show is brought to you by Chive Charities. You know, you can help make the world 10% happier by donating to Chive Charities today. You can find them on our website. It's the final Friday of the month, which means it's time once again for the SOR Paranormal Round Table, where I bring in some friends. We discuss and debate some of the highlighted topics that came up in the month of October. We are joined tonight by Spaced Out Sunday host Everett Themer, UFO historian William Pullin, co-founder of Astral Mage, Megan Gehring, and Jim Malliard from the Malliard Report, who will be here momentarily. And we're going to have some fun. We're going to discuss, debate, kind of get into it a little bit, because this show could get a little saucy at times. Let's hope it does. Everyone, welcome to the SOR Paranormal Roundtable. Good to have you all here.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Jim's back. That was a quick reboot, Jim. You were fast on the draw there.
I knew it was coming, so I kind of text you preemptively.
Gotcha.
Right as it's going out the door.
I got you right there. I appreciate that. All right, everyone. The month of October has absolutely flown by. Yes, we still have, 6 days left. Halloween is 6 days away as well. And on Halloween night, Karen Dahlman will be here for the 4th year in a row to do live Ouija board sessions. And this is where we kind of get into the nasty of the paranormal, because so many people believe the Ouija board is cursed. So many people believe that they have really, really dark stories that are attached to them. And, I look at it and I just say, it's a board. It's a way of communication. And I do not see a difference between a Ouija board. I don't see a difference between, using that and maybe a pendulum or tea leaves or tarot cards or, whatever else you want to read in order to get some sort of intuitive message from the other side. Everett, I'm going to start with you on this one. What do you think? Ouija board, evil or just another tool to communicate, or maybe it doesn't even work?
I certainly don't think they're inherently evil, but I'm not even too sure they're really that great of a tool, because you have whoever's using it, you have their input. I mean, even if you believe or think that the planchette is floating on there, you never know if you're using it with 2 or 3 other people, if it's being manipulated by somebody else, and there's just too much of an opportunity for somebody to kind of force what they want to come through onto the other people and onto the board. So I don't think they're evil, and I think even as a tool, they're questionable.
I don't agree with you. I really don't. After I saw, in my one personal experience, when I saw a fire start in my friend's wood stove, it was 10 o'clock at night. That stove hadn't been lit since 9:30 that morning. And then the board spelled out, "I was cold," when we asked if you did it on the board. That's what actually gets me to believe that there is something to this. But I'll agree with you, Everett. There's a lot of those stories out there, and we've all heard the majestic stories of light bulbs exploding, bangs on different floors or on the walls, and birds all of a sudden dropping dead outside the window. We've heard it all. And I agree with you on that. I think the legend is more than what the board actually is. Megan, we'll get your opinion. Ouija boards, good, bad, evil, ugly, or just a piece of plywood?
Oh, actually, strap in, because I'm going to say all of the above. It depends on the intent that is forward thinking while you're using it. My immediate take is, so we all know what a thought form or a tulpa is, something that a collective mind can actually feed into. Okay, something like Slender Man. A lot of people associate Ouija boards with something very bad. So that collective thought feeds into it, therefore increasing the powers of the portals that this thing is capable of doing. If you think it is a game, if you think it is something other than just, this plywood piece that, we're going to play with, maybe that's all it is at that point. However, if you feed into it, if you know or you want to bring in Zozo because you've seen it on YouTube or read it online, then therefore you are feeding this thought form or tulpa and basically welcoming it in. You are opening a portal. However, you may not get Zozo or Zaza, and therefore you basically can call in something else, something that will mimic that, because that's your intent. If you're trying to call in a demon, if you're trying to call in your ancestors, you can never have a guarantee that it is actually them without self-protection, which you need to practice and be consistent with. So most people use it as a game. Others use it as a tool. I have used it as a tool, and back when I was 13, 14, I also used it as a game, and I learned really quick that was a very stupid move. My personal belief is, again, it is a portal. However, you cannot 100% guarantee who or what is coming through, whether it is low-level demonic or whether it is some helpful ancestor or possibly guide. And that is where self-protection comes in, which you, as the user of a Ouija board, actually has to employ.
Very, very solid explanation there, and I would agree with you on that. I do believe it probably has something to do with the person. Now, let's take a look from a scientific side. William Pullin, the Ouija board. I know you're not a fan of this. I mean, you're barely a fan of the Coke versus Pepsi debate that's been going on over 100 years. So and you're like, prove it. Prove that it's happened. Prove that they're different. They look the same. Anyways, I'm just teasing there, my friend. Let's get your opinion on this. Ouija boards.
Dave, I'll meet you halfway. I don't know if there's any verifiable proof that it doesn't work. My personal take, I'm not convinced that it does. I might be totally wrong. I think it could be used as a tool because I do think when people go into a situation, whether it's a seance or a UFO investigation or the use of a Ouija board, they tend to have an unconscious bias. They tend to have a desire to achieve a certain result. So they're using the Ouija board as a tool, looking for something, searching for knowledge, searching for whatever that individual is looking for. They're going to tend to want to get the result they want. They're not going to. I guess in other words, I've heard a lot of stories about we all have about what the Ouija board does, what the potentialities of it are. But I've heard very few stories of individuals looking for some answer from the board and being disappointed or getting an answer they weren't expecting. It's usually the opposite. They were surprised. They embraced the board. The board really helped them achieve a certain level of understanding or consciousness or whatever the case may be. And those are things the way my mind is wired, I can't understand. But it's one of those things where we've discussed this before with other aspects of the paranormal. Science only takes you so far. Science can explain some things, but it has limitations. And I think when it comes to aspects of the paranormal, and it's not really paranormal as such per se, but like the Ouija board, how would you scientifically prove it or disprove it? I'm not sure that's a possibility. So I'm kind of really on the fence. I'm more on the skeptical side of the fence, but I'm not going to cast it out with it. I'm not going to throw the baby out with the bathwater. So, I mean, there's a lot of individuals that have claimed and stated unequivocally that they've experienced things using this as a tool. So maybe there's something to it, but I'm not convinced at this point.
All right, let's move over to Jim Malliard from the Malliard Report. Duck, what's your thoughts? Would you get on a board with somebody and start searching the astral life for anybody who will chat with you?
Well, would I? Yes, I have in the past. And here's the problem. Maybe it's just me. It doesn't move.
It's
so
fear.
I don't know.
It's fear.
Yeah, it fears the duck, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah. I've done it with a couple people. Maybe it goes back to the manipulation because I'm not into the game. The game, I guess it is sold in retail outlets as a game, right? Is a functioning thing. But Karen does a great job with it. A couple of other people have had on my show do a great job with it. Me, personally, I just get stuck in the mud.
Oh, well, you almost sound like you need a hug when you say that.
Dave, do you think it's more possible or it could be used better as a tool by somebody who maybe has some sort of psychic abilities or empathic abilities versus somebody who is, just going about their typical day with no real abilities like that? Does there need to be some sort of connection maybe?
It could very well be. And I think the more in tune you are, the more you're able to use it. Like, for instance, I use a pendulum. And you guys all remember Preacher when he used to hang around here. And he was never really a big fan of pendulums. And one day him and I were on Skype. And we were both using our pendulums. We were doing a very unscientific scientific experiment because Preacher, being a scientist, he really wanted to see about the pendulums. And he's holding his pendulum. I'm holding my pendulum. And we're on camera. And all of a sudden I said to my spirit guide, I have a spirit guide named Jordan. And I said, Jordan, make Eric's pendulum stop. And it went 1, 2, 3 sways, and then it stopped right there. I'll tell you, Preacher's head almost exploded when he saw that because he could not believe it. I do believe there is some sort of communication when you're able to make things happen. If you are in tune with yourself and in tune with with some of these things, I think it's phenomenal what can happen. Sure, on a pendulum, it can be, manipulated a little bit if somebody's fingers are shaking, or maybe it's just nerves that react to the thought. I don't know. But from what I've seen, it seems to work. For me, it does. And I don't use it often, but why not? What's wrong with having a tool in your back pocket just in case?
That's well said. Well said. Any tool that assists us in our paranormal investigative endeavors is a good thing. So, and like Everett made a good point. It may depend on the individual. It may not be a definable constant like the orbit of a planet around a star, which you could determine consistently. It may be just depends on the individual's ability to be in tune with themselves or their environment, or maybe they're a little less scientifically grounded and more open to certain possibilities. It may be just that. It may work better with those individuals and not with others. Maybe as simple as that, which is difficult to define, but certainly a possibility.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But the big thing with the Ouija board is the legend of it. Because I think I equate everything to the same thing, whether it's a Ouija board, pendulum, tea leaves, tarot cards, whatever it may be. But the Ouija board gets, in my opinion, the bad rap because of the movie The Exorcist back in the 70s. Do you think if those movies or those legends didn't happen on the big screen, Jim, that we would be having this same conversation about how evil the Ouija board is?
Probably not, but as like most things with the paranormal, once Hollywood gets involved and starts twisting the story, it's hard to put the toothpaste back in the toothpaste back in the tube. Easy for me to say it. 12:30 in the morning. It just becomes ingrained, and that becomes what the majority of people believe. I don't want to say all people believe, because obviously some people go out and have their own experiences, but I guess it at least has an open conversation, too, because if it never was on any of the movies or any TV shows, I don't think it'd be as popular as it is, or still sold at Target and Walmart, or, you know what I'm saying? I think it would just become like the pendulum, a lost art almost. So, good, bad, and different. We got to take it all as we get it.
Megan, popularity aside, Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. No, definitely. Because from the 1880s up until the 1920s, there was a spiritual renaissance going on where Ouija boards were actually revered, and people that had good intent and sensitivities. So, yes, Everett, sensitivities do play a part in the success or failure of the Ouija board use. So oracle boards or Ouija boards, which they are different, basically there was a spiritual renaissance going on in that time period that everybody had a certain level of fanfare and admiration towards these practitioners that could get accurate readings from an oracle board or a Ouija board. And then enter Hollywood, enter the dark magic kind of clout that associated with, witchcraft. Oh, let's not mention that, and it started being seen as a dark art. And then as you go through history from, the 40s onward, it was shunned. It was very, very shunned. If you did that, you were a dark arts practitioner, and that was highly unfavorable in a societal manner. Therefore, if you did it, you kind of had to remain hush-hush about it, or you were looked at as, either a loony or a witch or somebody who was casting ill will on others. So the history of the Ouija board is very unique and very controversial to a point, but also, just a fun fact, there is a huge movement right now going on in Salem. This guy who has been infatuated with Ouija boards decided to try to shoot for the Guinness World Book record, and he is currently, since October 12th, constructing the largest Ouija board in world history. So he's trying to bring it back.
That just happened.
Yeah.
The largest Ouija board.
Yes.
Ouijazilla.
Okay.
Ouijazilla.
Ouijazilla. Exactly, Dave. Thank you for knowing what I'm talking about. So, yes, he was trying to achieve that, and his goal was to take the scare out of Ouija boards. He wants to make it an art form and something that should be revered, not something that should be feared.
And
so that's why I kind of threw that in there.
Karen Dahlman, who was a part of Ouijazilla and the world record, she'll be the one on Halloween night here doing the live Ouija boards sessions. All right. Let's see here. Let's continue on with this in regards to the Ouija board. Will, your thoughts?
The media, the way different aspects of the paranormal are perceived is greatly influenced by society's take. That's certainly influenced by the media nowadays. And in earlier years, it would have been influenced by legends and tales and stories, some of which may or may not be true. So certain things are painted in a negative light, like the Ouija board. And does it deserve that tag? It may or may not deserve that tag, but it's been painted that way because of the way it's perceived in society. It goes along the lines of the alien abduction phenomenon in the UFO community. For a long time, it was perceived as an objective scientific examination of the human body, the human condition. They were interested in us. And now the narrative has changed so that now it's more of evil is the wrong word, but it's gone from a objective examination of us to some malintent toward us, precipitated by the aliens in the abduction phenomenon. So the narrative has changed. The way it's perceived has changed, and the media grabs a hold of that. So that perception continues down the road, and it's hard to break that perception. So the effort of this gentleman to build this giant Ouija board above and beyond the world record is actually an attempt, on some level, to change the narrative, change the thought process, change the perception of the Ouija board from something evil to something that's just a tool, and it's not inherently evil per se. It's just possibly a tool. So maybe that'll change the way things are perceived in that manner. And I'm not knowledgeable really about Ouija boards at all, but from an outsider's perspective, that's what it seems like. That's what he's attempting to do, and it seems like it's from the commentary about that effort. It seems like it's worked to some level. There's not a lot of negative commentary about his effort that I've seen.
Everett, you get the final word on this.
Well, you had mentioned how media has kind of influenced the view of the Ouija board. And I think even with movies like The Exorcist and some of the B movies and horror movies that have come out, I think eventually somebody would have grabbed onto the idea and pushed the idea, and I think some people have, that it's evil just because it's the one tool a paranormal investigator could use, or it's one of only a couple of tools where something literally has to manipulate you or enter you or physically influence you to get a result. We can set up cameras, we can set up tape recorders, we can set up all kinds of devices and walk away. And whatever entity or spirit is there can interact or influence those devices, but it doesn't necessarily affect us specifically. But with a Ouija board, something has to either be near you or within you or on you to move that planchette. So I think even though the media and the movies have certainly gone and pushed that negative image quickly, I think there would still be people out there toting that idea that it's evil just because of those reasons.
Well, it's one of those things that we are really, really going to have to monitor, because I think that the legend beautifully keeps going. I don't know why, but there is something a little bit romantic to it. The fact that, you now have 14, 15, 16-year-old kids, 50 years later.
Summoning demons?
Summoning demons and making ideas. Oh, did you hear about what happened to George when he was out in the woods playing with a Ouija board and the forest fire started and burned everything down around him except a big pentagram? We hear it all. You guys hold on. When we come back with the panel on the SOR Roundtable, the United States Army teaming up with the To the Stars Academy. Good? Bad? What do you think for ufology? Right after this on Spaced Out Radio.
Hey, space travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little differently. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, Chive Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
From the heartlands of Canada to beards around the world, we know how to take care of you. Fill your follicles with the Mighty Moose Beard Oil. All our oils and balms are handmade and 100% natural ingredients because we care about your beard. And hey, use the promo code SOR2019 and get your Mighty Moose Beard Oil today. You can check us out on our website, mightymoosebeard.com.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
Finish off your weekend and kick off your new week with me, Everett Themer, right here on Spaced Out Sundays. I'm going to bring you great guests, a little bit of snark, and plenty of information to think about. But don't worry, there's going to be plenty of woo as well. We are going to hit everything in the paranormal and supernatural, including the odd psychic Sundays. So tune us in on Sunday, 9:06 p.m. Pacific, 12:06 a.m. Eastern, right here at spacedoutradio.com.
Heading to Vancouver and looking for a night on the town? The Moose Vancouver is the bar that never stops rocking until 2 a.m. every night. The Moose has great food with everything on the menu from $6.95 to $8.95. Fantastic, vibrant staff and rock and roll that will bring you back to when the music was real, the hair was long, and the guitars were rocking. Get your party on at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Every night on Spaced Out Radio, we have places for you to hang out. Hi, this is Carl. Join our SOR Space Travelers group on Facebook for live chat. On Twitter, using hashtag Spaced Out Radio. You can also join us in our Spreaker chat room. Check us out on Instagram at Dave Scott SOR. All of our archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. By the way, I'll be watching you at your window until you do. Bye!
We're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world, relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. And while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and leave a comment. See you there.
Are you having encounters with the paranormal, supernatural, or ufological that you cannot explain? Look no further than the SOR Sightlines Report, brought to you by the Experiencers Support Association. This is Ryan Stacy, head of the Research Association, TESA. Soon on the Spaced Out Radio website, you'll be able to file your reports and have them researched for you. We are independent and ready to help Spaced Out Radio listeners today.
Move over, brother, and let me own Saturday night. This is Rich Giordano, and I'm inviting you to tune on in to Spaced Out Saturdays starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, 12 a.m. Eastern, where I'm going to bust open the lids on everything paranormal. Why? Because we want answers, and I'm the guy who's going to deliver those answers to you. Join the chat rooms, and we'll see you this Saturday. Just be there. No, really.
Hey everybody, the SOR Space Travelers is open. For just $5 a month, you can hang out with Dave and our crew privately in our members-only section. With your signing, you'll receive newsletters on what's going on with Spaced Out Radio. You'll have direct contact with the host during the show in our chat, live streaming videos, and a great forum for your posts and more. Become a space traveler now at spacedoutradio.com.
You wanted new SOR gear, and now you can have it. The SOR Vault is fully stocked with t-shirts, hats, hoodies, mugs, and everything in between, with great logos for you to choose from. So head on over to spacedoutradio.com, click on the SOR Vault, and go shopping. Pricing is quite affordable, and you can look good representing your favorite show. So go to our website and pick up your new SOR wear at the SOR Vault today.
Looking for something new to push your limits? Look Beyond the Spectrum, a new docuseries featuring some of the best researchers in the world when it comes to everything from UFOs, government cover-ups, and Bigfoot in the forest. Truth seekers like Steve Bassett, Dr. Jeff Meldrum, Richard Dolan, as well as others all chip in to bring their knowledge to you. Beyond the Spectrum can be found on Amazon as well as Tubi TV. Tell us what you think on our Amazon page.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Welcome back to the second half hour of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. Great to have each and every one of you with us. Reminder to all of you that if you've missed portions of this show or others, head on over to our free archives at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website, spacedoutradio.com, has a plethora of features for you. Do a little shopping at our SOR Vault because you need one of our t-shirts. You definitely want to sign up for the SOR Space Travelers Club. Great chat going on in there as well. And, of course, Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire, updated daily. Rock out to Bumblefoot. And looking for a good paranormal book? Head over to We Read the Night, where we got some great books up there for you, and we're going to be adding more very, very soon. The final Friday of the month means that it is time for the SOR Paranormal Round Table. And before we bring in the crew, we want to say hi to Gene in Washington, D.C. Hey, Gene, how you doing? Thanks for listening in. Do us a favor. Give us a call sometime. We're joined by Everett Themer, who has buried his 5 Gibson's Les Pauls 182 feet underground so that nobody steals them. Jim Malliard from the Malliard Report, Megan Gehring, co-founder of Astromaids, and UFO historian William Pullin. They are our panel tonight. And panel, we're going to get right into the big story in the UFO field, which was the To the Stars Academy signing a deal for no money, but the Army in the United States is going to spend $750,000 in upgrading its equipment to investigate these so-called metamaterials that could possibly be from some sort of unidentified aerial phenomena. William, UFO historian, we are going to start with you on this one. What do you think about this?
Not much, to be brutally honest. Now, the TTSA has done a great job marketing itself, an outstanding job. They've certainly influenced the way the media has attacked and approached the phenomenon. It's covered in a more legitimate light. But is there anything solid behind their claims? I don't know. There are so many questions that need to be asked that have not been asked for one reason or another. Mostly because the community won't ask those questions. The community is not good at policing itself and asking legitimate questions that should be asked. And then, two, the TTSA has clearly been controlling the narrative. There are programs out there that are not allowed to interact with TTSA members. Therefore, we're not able to ask those questions to get some sort of handle on what may or may not be going on. So that, to me, is a huge red flag, which is something the UFO community consistently ignores. They embrace things without actually using any critical thought and actually slowing down, thinking, okay, is this organization legitimate? Are they actually conducting research? Let's background check the individuals that are members of this organization. Is this on the up and up, or is this more of the same thing we've been going through for decades? More claims of disclosure, more claims of minute materials or extraterrestrial technology recovered by civilian groups or what have you, and none of those things have come to fruition up until this point. And is this any different? To my mind, probably not. I hope I'm wrong. That would be great. But at this point, I'm not comfortable with their efforts. So this idea of them working with the Army, there's documentation that has shown that the armed forces of the United States have been investigating UFOs, despite Blue Book closing back in December 1969. The only thing that changed was they got out of the public UFO business. But in secret, they've been continuing to investigate the UFO phenomenon. So is the Army part of that? Of course they are. So the idea that all of a sudden they're going to spend money to upgrade their technology to investigate UFOs in a more legitimate way, no, I don't buy that. No, not at all. I think they've been investigating this from the word go. So the idea that they would have allowed their technology to become antiquated and then all of a sudden they're going to upgrade it because they're interacting with a civilian group, I don't buy that. Not at all. I would buy the scenario a little more or be more comfortable with it if those questions had been addressed or even been allowed to be asked. But since they haven't, I'm very skeptical and cautious about this whole scenario.
Megan, as a former Marine and somebody who spent a long time in the armed services, thank you for that, by the way. When you see a group like TTSA sign up and sign a deal with the United States Army, are there any red flags that pop up for you in something like that?
Oh, there is a plethora of red flags. So my main issue is I've never been impressed with the whole TTSA campaign. Okay? His name should actually be Delay, because that is what he has done. He has delayed actual disclosure. He has delayed proper procedure in evidence that could have been taken seriously. When they have, and this is my opinion, when they have presented information, it almost seems gifted to them or hoaxed. Now, this is legitimate information that has been put out by the TTSA that has been acquired through practically government resources, right? Taking point, the Navy. Now, why isn't the Navy also contributing to this? That's another red flag. Like, they got the videos from the Navy. Why isn't the Navy? Well, I will piggyback on what William said. Our government has departments that actually handle UFO incidents. So why is that money being presented? I do not have an answer for that. This seems like a publicity stunt, and I am not a fan. However, if I were to look at it from the angle of a TTSA supporter, I would think that this is some kind of collaborative effort between a public entity and, seekers of truth and the government to try to middle. So I'm going to step back from my opinion and say it could go either or, meaning that this is either some kind of distraction plan, or it could be a collaborative plan for the government to try to work with a public information entity to try to get the truth out there. But I hold reserve because I believe that it's not going to get us anywhere. Because if we were to, figure out some metamaterials and do some research, a lot of private citizens claim to have metamaterials. Why aren't they being asked to come forward and join in this project? So this whole venture leads me to believe that, it's kind of a publicity stunt, in my opinion. But they could do better. They could always do better. They can make it a real deal and really get the true information out there for true public disclosure. But Dave, after all, hasn't that always been the argument at hand, is true public disclosure?
Well, there is something that going on with that. And I do believe that in some sense, I think it's great because many people believe that the United States military has the better science labs than any of the universities around, maybe with the exception of Ivy League schools or Johns Hopkins or someplace like that. But I get a little hesitant. I see the red flags because the TTSA was wanting to bring the subject of UFOs to the public, Jim. And here we are now with that same group, with the same people, squaring up with the United States Army, and we don't know if we will ever get those results publicly. And it just seems like it's a big game of charades that people are once again trying to be hopeful on.
Exactly.
Agreed.
Jimmy. Where'd Jimmy go? Did Jimmy get booted again? Because his Skype is active.
You better get him back here. Just saying.
All right. Well, we'll wait for Jim to get back. I know he's having some computer troubles tonight. Everett, what's your thoughts on that?
If I was a TTSA investor, I would be jumping for joy. This is fantastic, because what the TTSA did was got their name out in front of the public again, and has now gotten the Army to essentially agree to pay for something they've said they were going to do from the very beginning. Wasn't that when this whole thing started? Weren't they going to test those metamaterials? That was part of what they were going to do, and now they've gotten the Army to come in and pay for it.
Yeah, they've literally flipped the bill. But is that a good thing for them? Is that a good thing for them, Everett, to do?
Depends on how you look at it. Is it good for the TTSA? Yes, probably. It's an absolutely brilliant thing for them to do, because their ultimate goal or their ultimate responsibility is to their investors. And so much of what we've seen out of them the last year and a half has been marketing. Not even the empty promises from the beginning. Well, they're all the things they were going to accomplish and do and show us, that they talked about in the beginning. The last year and a half has been entirely marketing, but we haven't seen anything, just talk. So, now they have the U.S. Army coming in. It boosts their appearance of legitimacy to a certain part of the population. It puts their name back out there, and they can now get these materials tested without having to have the expense fall on them. So from a business point of view, everything they're doing is fantastic. From a UFO perspective, or the UFO community, I think, we're just going to have to sit back and watch them do what they're going to do. And I'm kind of at the point where I don't even pay that much attention to it anymore, just because there's never anything really new out of it. So, I guess we're going to have to sit back and see what happens with this?
I don't know where this is going to go. The concern that I have is now, and you guys have heard me for months say that there just seems to be a little bit of a cover-up, a little bit of a narrative going on with this group. My stance has not changed on that. But now, getting involved with the United States Army, which, if this is some sort of alien material that they have their hands on, and it tests that way, that material will never seem or see the light of day, William. We're going to hear it being about bismuth and other compounds and minerals, but we will never know the true reaction. If that piece floats on its own when mixed with certain gases or whatever it may do, if it is alien or something not of this planet, we'll never know. All because of the tie to the military. And that sucks for people who have thrown their support. It doesn't suck for the investors like Everett has just said, but it sucks for the people who will never get to see this outside of it being, sorry, everyone, it was bismuth.
And why do we keep talking about this like it's never been tested before? Isn't this part of our parts that's been tested numerous times?
That's a good point. Yeah, if and it's still speculation on some level, but if the U.S. military has recovered alien technology, I've never been convinced that we're smart enough as a species to be able to reverse engineer it. But I do think we're smart enough to figure out if it's extraterrestrial or not. So if they do have anything recovered, let's assume Roswell was alien and they recovered it, they sent it to right field. By this point, we would have determined whether it's alien or not. So if those assumptions are true, and I tend to believe they are, then the military is already aware of alien technology. They're already aware that some materials we've recovered are extraterrestrial in origin. So this is just an exercise of futility. It's just confirming what they already know. And going to what Dave's point is, the U.S. military has never been motivated to release anything they may have. I don't think that'll ever change. It would take a in-your-face event to change the way they operate. And that's from a non-military standpoint. In all my years of research in UFOs, when it comes to military interactions with UFOs, I always seek out the point of view from somebody who served in the military, because they have a point of view I don't have. I never served. So to Megan's point, Megan detects certain red flags. She has a point of view we don't have because she served in the military. That carries a lot of weight, as opposed to a layperson like myself who never served. I could detect red flags on my own through my own research, but that point of view really adds some weight to this. So, again, those red flags won't be investigated. They won't be investigated on any level at all. It'll just be assumed that this is a legitimate exercise. But yeah, I don't think if they actually find the metamaterials are non-terrestrial in origin, they're from outside. I can't imagine them releasing that information to the public. I just don't see that happening. I wouldn't see that happening at all.
Megan, what do you think about what Will has to say there?
Oh, no. One, thank you. Two, there are many red flags, because you have to understand each branch of military has their own division for unexplainable situations, including extraterrestrial. Because if we get some kind of signal from somewhere, we need to determine if that is terrestrial or extraterrestrial type signal, and then it goes to analytics, and then those results go to separate departments, okay? Each one of those departments has to prove that it's a terrestrial or extraterrestrial signal, and we have so many, hands in the pots across the globe as American military forces. Okay, we've got bases everywhere. We have privatized military co-funded research facilities that actually are harvesting information specifically for extraterrestrials. Okay, now you add that into the mix where the Army is actually, giving or offering up a large sum of money to TTSA, and it really makes me scratch my head, because why doesn't the Army do it themselves? Because TTSA is getting gifted civilian-type information, okay? And here is my problem with it. They are getting gifted with civilian-type information on a good faith kind of presentation. Look, we have this information. We have this evidence. We have this metamaterial. And then the Army is basically offering up the sum of money to say, let us have it. That is my biggest red flag right there. Because, yes, absolutely accurate, Dave and William. Once that is handed over, we will never hear another peep about it. Okay, and that goes back to the gentleman that has the Stardust Ranch down in Arizona. He had alien DNA evidence that he submitted for research. And in fact, it was proven through DNA analysis that it was not human, that the DNA actually had characteristics of chlorophyll on it. And you know what happened? That researcher who proved this ended up dying in a freak laboratory fire. All of the evidence was destroyed, including the computer system that housed the emails. So those are the things that make me say, just putting it out there. So that is my take on it. I do see many red flags, and it is all involved in what needs to be acquired by the military.
Everett.
Dave. What? I think I answered. I think I answered. I don't know if I have any more to contribute to it, because, like I said, I stand by what I said. I think it's just marketing at this point. And I'm sure people are going to hate me for saying that, but I think I told you a while back, in 5 years, the UFO community won't be that much farther along than we are now, and the TTSA will have done ultimately very little to help the community.
Well, there is the news, too, and we haven't had it confirmed yet, that Dr. Colm Kelleher has left the TTSA. This was Robert Bigelow's right-hand man for a number of years, wrote the book about the Skinwalker Ranch with George Knapp. Apparently his photo and bio has been taken off the TTSA board of directors. Could this be, William, a crack in the armor when you lose somebody of Kelleher's stature, especially with his ties to Bigelow?
Yeah, it could be, sure. I mean, it's reminiscent of when MUFON was going, and they're still going through the issues they are in the higher echelons of the organization. You had people leaving. They've been part of the organization for decades. Highly credible individuals. So when you have an individual that's pretty close to the top, that's well connected in an organization, and then they decide to leave, there's a reason why that happens. And usually that reason is not, well, I'm going to retire to spend time with my family, or I've been in this organization for 30 years, it's time to just rest on my laurels. No, it's usually they don't agree with something that's going on, or they've got questions about the organization they're a member of, and they have been unable to ask those questions. Something troublesome has been going on, and it's come to a head, and now he's decided to leave. That's my first gut reaction to that. And going back to the TTSA Army scenario that we've been discussing, Everett's exactly right. It's great for the investors, but this won't move the field forward. The UFO field, the UFO research community has been spinning its wheels for decades because we keep examining old cases. We're not examining new material. We're not examining new information. We're still examining Roswell, Aztec, Majestic 12, Rendlesham Forest. These things are decades old. How about some new information? How it's moving the field forward? Science, and we go further than that, knowledge is built on the shoulders of the previous generations. Now in the UFO field, we go round and round and round and round and round and not get anywhere. We're still discussing the same old things. We're not moving forward as a research community. We're not. And this effort, I can't imagine us moving forward at all. Years and decades from now, we'll be in the same spot. Maybe a little further forward, perhaps, but not that much further forward. No, not at all. And the red flags with this situation, the best we've been able to do as researchers is confirm that the military, the different branches of the military, have been investigating UFOs. That's the best we can do. We've confirmed that through recovered documentation, whether it concerned Project Blue Book, the multiple witness sighting over Tehran, Iran in 76, a few other cases, Reynolds reports in 1980. We've recovered documentation to confirm that our military was at least on a cursory level interested in what was going on. Yeah.
All right.
But no results.
All right, William Pullin, Megan Gehring, Everett Themer, and we'll try and get Jim Malliard back on the SOR Paranormal Roundtable. Coming up in Hour 2, do you believe Edward Snowden when he says the NSA has nothing on aliens? We'll be back with Spaced Out Radio after this.
Get your horns up with me on Spaced Out Radio. This is Ron Bumblefoot Thal. Come tune in to SOR where you can hear me rock out with Little Brother is Watching, the official theme song of Spaced Out Radio. And then come on over to bumblefoot.com where you can find out about my tour schedule, my music, and everything else. Bumblefoot.com keeps you up to date on what I'm doing and the best way to stay in touch with my music and music camps. Sign up for my newsletter at bumblefoot.com and remember, Little Brother is Watching.
Hi, this is Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel where we store all of the SOR show archives for free. And as an added bonus, every 2 weeks I'm posting brand new content on Cryptid Tales, where I will get into some of the spookier legends and folklore from around the world and tell the stories that go with them. Find us at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio and check out Cryptid Tales today. Drop a comment and let me know what you want to hear. See you there.
A little bit of science, a little bit of skepticism. Add a dash of snark and you have the makings of Spaced Out Sundays with me, Everett Themer. Together we will look into the reality of the paranormal with an open eye and rational thought. Oh, did I mention there'll be plenty of woo as well? Your time spent with Spaced Out Sundays will make the night even better. The chat rooms are open, 9:06 p.m. Pacific, 12:06 a.m. Eastern, right here at spacedoutradio.com.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
At spacedoutradio.com, we have a little bit of everything for you to stay up late. So while you're there, check out our SOR Newswire, where our team brings you stories of the weird and strange to the WTF from around the globe. News on Bigfoot, UFOs, paranormal, Darwinian-type crime tales. It's the stories that the mainstream media usually won't touch. Well, we got them all on the SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Hey, this is Canadian paranormal investigator Mike Moore. The third Wednesday of every month, I'll be teaming up with Dave Scott to bring you Ghosts of the Great White North. Each month, we will bring on guests from across Canada to discuss their ghostly encounters. Canada is a paranormal hotbed with stories you've never heard, so we're going to bring them to you. So get comfy on your Chesterfield, grab a donut, and join us, eh?
The Call of the Wild is in Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is one of the hottest bars and restaurants in the city. Open until 2 a.m. nightly, the Moose will rock you like a hurricane all night long. Great food with everything on the menu at $6.95 near the corner of Nelson and Granville. Get your horns up and come rock with us. The Moose Vancouver, the official rocking bar of Spaced Out Radio.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at MightyMooseBeard.com today.
and let me own Saturday night. This is Rich Giordano, and I'm inviting you to tune on in to Spaced Out Saturdays starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, 12 a.m. Eastern, where I'm going to bust open the lids on everything paranormal. Why? Because we want answers, and I'm the guy who's going to deliver those answers to you. Join the chat rooms, and we'll see you this Saturday. Just be there. No, really.
Hi there, this is Geraldine Orozco from San Francisco's Bay Area Meditation. I invite you to join me the first Tuesday of every month with Dave Scott for Spaced Out Radio's The Spiritual You. In this fast-paced world we live in, it's time for you to take some time for you. We'll cover every possible subject from powerful meditation to healing techniques to your own intuition and spirituality. So come join us for The Spiritual You.
Come hang out with Spaced Out Radio, where we own the night. This is Carl. You can follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio, and during the show, use the hashtag Spaced Out Radio to chat with us live. On Instagram, at Dave Scott SOR. On Facebook, give our page a like, Spaced Out Radio Show. SOR archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. Come join us, or I will come join you. See you at your window.
Hey, Spaced Out Radio fans! It's John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. Our goal is to make the life of veterans, first responders, and those with rare medical conditions 10% happier. We do this by donating one grant item, ranging from vans to therapy programs to prosthetic limbs, to those who need it most. To contribute to Spaced Out Radio's official charity, head over to chivecharities.org and become a donor today.
For the price of one cup of coffee a month, you can become an SOR Space Traveler. The Space Travelers Club is a place where you can interact with other listeners, either live during the show or on our great forum. We want your stories, pictures, comments, and ideas. You'll get live video streams, exclusive content, and be a part of our newsletter. Stay in touch with everything SOR. The Space Travelers Club is just $5 a month at spacedoutradio.com.
Are you having encounters with the paranormal, supernatural, or ufological that you cannot explain? Look no further than the SOR Sightlines Report, brought to you by the Experiencers Support Association. This is Ryan Stacy, head of the Research Association, TESA. Soon on the Spaced Out Radio website, you'll be able to file your reports and have them researched for you. We are independent and ready to help Spaced Out Radio listeners today.
The SOR Vault is open for business, and do we have some cool swag for you to pick up? All you have to do is head over to our website and click on the SOR Vault. You have a variety of cool logos to choose from, and put them on anything you want. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, coffee mugs, you name it, we can get it to you. So do your shopping by supporting the store you love. Get your Spaced Out Radio swag at the SOR Vault today.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio with Dave Scott. Follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Facebook, Spaced Out Radio Show.
Hour 2 of Spaced Out Radio underway tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott. Thank you so much for joining us. We want to say hello to everyone listening in on KDUN AM 1030 in Reedsport, Oregon, UPRN 107.7 FM in New Orleans, WQEE 99.1 FM in Noonan, Georgia, KDNF AM 1560 in Dangerfield, Texas. Hi, Chuck and the gang at KZFX 93.7 FM in Ridgecrest, California. On the digital side, we welcome in everyone listening in on Kingdom of Nye Radio and Revolution Radio. Great to have you with us. Don't forget, you can check out all of our archives for free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Yester Tempest. Yester Tempest is your password. Use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on the mighty SOR. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot. Read up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire, which is updated daily. You can also do a little shopping at the SOR Vault, because we'd love you wearing our shirts and hoodies and whatever else we got in there. We got the SOR Space Travelers Club for $5 $5 a month. And hey, if you're one of those people who still likes to read a good book, especially on the paranormal, go get one at We Read the Night. The final Friday of each month, we have the SOR Paranormal Round Table, where I bring in some friends and we debate and discuss the month that was. Tonight, we are joined by Jim Malliard from the Malliard Report, from Spaced Out Sunday, Everett Themer, UFO historian William Pullin, and Megan Gehring from Astromaids. She is one of the co-founders. Hi, Sarah. If you're listening in, I'm waving at you. Everyone, welcome back to the show.
Greetings.
You know, I had a little bit of bad news this morning. Bad news. My neighbor, right along our tree line, or our fence line, had this dead birch tree. And a couple of years ago, he was going to take it down. And I begged him not to, because this giant red-headed woodpecker, like this thing was probably almost 2 feet big, all right, would come and knock on that tree each and every day, you know, and it was just, I love that bird. Love that bird. Well, we've had a couple of windstorms up here, and today I got woken up to the doorbell ringing. The neighbor was over, apologizing that the tree fell through our fence that separates our yards and fell down. I'm so sad by that. I don't have a tree for the woodpecker anymore. I'm all pissed off.
Yeah, but you had a tree to play with your chainsaw with.
Yes, I did get to use my chainsaw this morning. There was the benefit of that, but that's only short term. The woodpecker would come even in the dead of winter.
That is sad.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little upset by that. I like the woodpecker. I like the woodpecker. Now, tree's gone.
Tell me you called him Woody.
Of course I did. He looked like a giant Woody the Woodpecker. He totally did. He was gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. And now I can't watch him peck at that tree anymore. I'm a little upset. It's heartbreaking. Heartbreaking. But I got firewood out of it. So, I mean, there is that, too. I'll enjoy burning it. That's for sure. All right. We're going to move on here because recently on the Joe Rogan Experience, and Joe Rogan's been doing a hell of a job talking about UFOs in this subject lately. You know, he actually may, in a whole different topic, be one of the voices of disclosure moving forward here, because he asks a lot of tough questions. And because of his following, he's able to get people at his beck and call. But he had Edward Snowden on the other day, and he asked Edward Snowden about aliens, on whether when he was searching the NSA files, if he saw anything about aliens. To paraphrase Snowden, he said he looked for them and found nothing. I don't believe that. I really don't. And I will tell you, we have had one guest on over the years. He's been on numerous times. And I'm not going to say his name, but he used to work at NSA. And he once told me that he walked into a room and literally felt his heart drop, because coming out on one of the computer printers was an actual NSA conversation with some sort of alien species saying they were coming towards Earth. And it scared him. Eventually, he ended up quitting the NSA because it scared him so bad. And I trust this guy's word. I won't go any further than that because it was a private conversation and there was more said. But I don't think that Snowden would have maybe had access to that. I really don't. Jim, what's your thoughts?
My thought is, as it always has been, you can look on every computer on the planet and it's not there. It's still in a paper file, Langley or Area 51 or somewhere. You're actually going to have to walk off of it. I don't believe there's anything digital to hack into and find. Sadly. Because I think if there was something digital, we've all would have seen it by now. Too many people have been looking for it. It's too easy to email out. So it's in a paper file somewhere.
I don't know. Could be. Megan?
Well, Dave, you kind of stole my thunder a little bit on this one as I was listening to what you said. My first question when you were introducing the subject was, what division did Snowden work in? Was he strictly American communications? Was he strictly, maybe U.S. to UK or U.S. to Russia communications? There's many divisions to his department. So, that being said, maybe he did not qualify for possible ET or off-world communication because, trust me, they do exist. I have spoke with them. So yes. They do exist, and they exist in many forms. And, it's not like they're going to call you from Orion and have a 2-hour traceable phone call either. So, I mean, what platform was he looking into? Was it telecommunications? Was it via email? Was he looking at outdated facsimiles? Like, do ETs send faxes? I mean, do they email? Do they text? There's a lot more questions for Joe Rogan to have asked to actually pinpoint why he would not have been able. And then also, is that something he's not willing to admit? Because we all know people can easily lie through their teeth. So even if he did have proof of ET communications, is that a door that he's not personally willing to open because the main focus was American government spying on Americans? So keep that at the forefront as the issue versus bringing off-world extraterrestrials into the mix.
Well, I'm reading this off of Newsweek, and this is the quote. He says, in the book, I talk about aliens and chemtrails and all things like that, and the fact that there's no evidence for that. I went looking on the network. I know, Joe, you want there to be aliens, where Rogan says, I do. And he goes, there probably are, right? But the idea that we're hiding them, according to Snowden, if we are hiding them, I had ridiculous access to the networks of NSA, the CIA, the military, all of these groups. I couldn't find anything. So if it's hidden, and it could be hidden, it's hidden really damn well, even from people who are on the inside. So when you hear that, William, what's your thoughts? Do you think that he just wasn't able to get into the files if he had that much access? Or do you think that maybe, just maybe, he's just trying to stay relevant? Or maybe it's even a cover-up?
Well, I mean, I'm not going to assume he's telling the truth. One. Two, the amount of material the CIA, the NSA, all these intelligence agencies have is voluminous, to say the least. So how long would it take to actually, if you could, how long would it take to go through all that material? Maybe years, sitting at a desk every day for years at a time. So he may not have come across it at all. Two, particularly when it comes to higher security projects, the military and the government tends to compartmentalize everything. So you can't just actually, the information wouldn't be accessible on a kind of an in-your-face basis. You would have to have one, a need to know. Two, even those individuals with a need to know tend to, because it's compartmentalized, they would only know about what they're working on. They wouldn't know what else is happening on where and whatever establishment they're in, whatever military base they're at, or what government agency they work for. They don't know the whole picture. They may know part of the picture, but they don't know all of it. So the idea that he'd be able to sit down at the computer and gain access to the entire story or files on UFOs, I just don't buy that at all. Another aspect of this is that the military, and I'm talking as a non-qualified, non-military veteran, but and the government, certainly the government of Britain, and I would think by extension the government of the U.S., they tend to not want to create paper trails, things that can be followed, things that can be tracked backwards to the original source. They tend to hide things pretty well. Does the NSA operate like that? They may not. I don't know. I'm not a government employee or a veteran in that way. But I just don't think he would have been able to find material on aliens or UFOs that easily. I just don't think so. And the idea that they don't have anything on extraterrestrials or UFOs, I don't buy that either. I think they do. But I think by definition, it would be extremely hard to find if you just make kind of like a cursory search. You would have to be there for a protracted amount of time. And then, even then, you may not be able to get access to that kind of material because, again, it's not just an average file. It's a little more, it's hidden with a little more effort than, say, the everyday material. So I don't buy the story.
I don't know. I really, really don't know. Everett, I want your thoughts on this.
I think Snowden is telling the truth as he knows it right now. I think kind of what you had said about, is it an effort to stay relevant? Well, I think people want to hear from Snowden that he went through all these things and he found things on aliens or UFOs. They want to hear that he found that because that would be intriguing. That would be exciting. But like Megan had said about everything being so compartmentalized that, he didn't have the time to go through everything. So if there was something there, I can imagine that being pushed off somewhere, whether it be to a private, secret server or even brought offline entirely so that it couldn't have been found. But I think that a big part of this and his whole involvement in sort of the UFO field right now is that people are hoping he found something. So I do believe that he's telling the truth as he knows it right now, but I don't think that that's a definitive, oh no, the NSA doesn't have any information on this. I just think it means that wherever he looked, he was looking in the wrong places in the amount of time he had, and this was sent somewhere else or put somewhere else where he didn't get to go.
Dave, can I ask you a question? What was Snowden's statement? Did he say there's no files on UFOs in the NSA, or he didn't come across them?
He says he didn't come across them. And apparently his job, and I want to say thanks to John on this on Twitter at #SpacedOutRadio. Snowden worked for an office of interdivision sharing, so that's why he was able to get so many different files on everything. Yeah. Thank you, John, for posting that, because I had forgotten that, to be honest.
Yeah. I was actually going to interject and bring that up, that technically he was a contractor.
Yeah. So, I mean, just the fact, though, that he had that access, me personally, and maybe it's just me being naive or wearing too much tinfoil around my bandana tonight, but I do believe that the UFO alien subject would probably be of a higher classification of top secret than a lot of the projects that he was seeing. So the fact that it wouldn't pass through the hands of a contractor or something like that would make sense to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm just wishful thinking. I really don't know, Megan.
Right. No, I agree. I think that something such as off-world communication would be marked as top secret, highest of top secret, extra top secret, okay? Because this is information that we do not want the public to know.
Just matter of fact like that, eh? Just like that.
No, Dave, I'm going to show my ignorance here a little bit because, well, I'm good at it. But isn't the NSA tasked primarily with monitoring communications and keeping tabs on things? I mean, you and I have had jokingly discussed things like this in the past with their data centers and things like that. Is it possible that something involving aliens, depending on how we're communicating with them, wouldn't even pass through the purview of the NSA?
I have the answer to that.
Well,
You're
let's hear
correct.
it. We're waiting.
Okay. Yes, absolutely. Actually, telepathy. That is the one-word answer that I'm just going to throw out. Telepathy. Okay, can you trace telepathic messages? No, I'm sorry. And that is, in my experience, how extraterrestrials, off-worlders communicate. Okay, can you track that? No. So maybe there is no file, but you know what? Sometimes people talk about their experience with extraterrestrials. Maybe they're calling their grandma. Maybe they're calling their best friend. Maybe it's just, cousins talking, hashing out, oh my goodness, I had this crazy experience. Okay, that would be on record through BNSA. True. But actual off-world EP communication would be mainly done by face-to-face communication or off-world, like telepathy, in my opinion. So yes, nothing that would technically go through NSA channels. You are absolutely correct. And I have to giggle because 99% of my communication has been telepathically or astrally. And, that's what I do, astral. So.
Picking up the woo there. Picking up lots of woo there. They're going to like that on Twitter.
It's Friday night. Got to have some woo.
Oh, Derek on Twitter, he's going to be posting some Ric Flair woo on there in no time. No time. The minute you started talking about that, I immediately went over to my tweet deck and started looking, wondering where Derek's Ric Flair woo was. Because I know it's coming.
Right? We can interject some woo. It is Friday night. We got to have some woo. That is tradition, right?
Total tradition. And
Dave, going back to the Snowden thing, he made it may be as simple as he just didn't come across it.
I agree.
It may be simple as that. I tend not to think that, but he possibly might, if he had enough time, he might have come across something that at least would have, in a roundabout way, referred to the UFO issue. But he might not have just come across it. He may not have had the time or had been able to invest the time, or it might have been just random luck. Random luck he didn't come across something. And so, because that's what his statement was. His statement was he didn't find anything, which is a lot different than it doesn't exist. So
very true. Very true. Either way, as we got about 2.5 minutes, and we lost Duck again. His digital mixer keeps freezing, so he's figured that part out. It's not a Skype issue. It's his digital mixer that keeps freezing. That's why we keep losing him. Duck, your thoughts? None? Okay. There we go.
I have a question.
Sure. We got 2 minutes.
You had mentioned that the idea of Edward Snowden lying about this. What would be his motivation to lie about it? I mean, there'd be no motivation to be used as a pawn for the government at this point. So if he were lying about it, why would he do that?
I can take that too, to keep focus on the fact that American government is spying on citizens localized to the United States as well as abroad. He did not want to detract from that issue because that is, after all, his main grievance.
Yeah. Okay. I got to laugh for a second. There it is. Derek has tweeted the Ric Flair woo. I love it. I love it. And First God of Thunder, Canadian Joe did too. All right. I love our Twitter crowd. We're so awesome. Go ahead, Will. We got about 40 seconds.
Never, to your question, I'm gonna speculate, and I hate to speculate, but maybe it's a bargaining chip. Maybe Snowden did come across something and is not going to reveal it, hoping that he can use that as a bargaining chip because at some point he may be prosecuted. So
good point.
That's a possibility too. I mean, I have no evidence of that, but if he did come across something, he could use that as a chip saying, look, work a deal with me or I'll blurb out what I saw. Maybe simple as that. Then again, I might be wrong, but that's also a possibility.
Well, we will soon see here. We'll soon see here as we're going to continue the SOR Paranormal Round Table coming up here on Spaced Out Radio. We are joined by Everett Themer, host of Spaced Out Sunday. We got Megan Gehring, co-creator of Astromaids, UFO historian William Pullin, and if the duck can find his wings, we'll get Jim Malliard back in here from the Malliard Report as well. We'll be back on Spaced Out Radio.
We're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world, relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio, and while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and leave a comment. See you there.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
Finish off your weekend and kick off your new week with me, Everett Themer, right here on Spaced Out Sundays. I'm going to bring you great guests, a little bit of snark, and plenty of information to think about. But don't worry, there's going to be plenty of woo as well. We are going to hit everything in the paranormal and supernatural, including the odd psychic Sundays. So tune us in on Sunday, 9:06 p.m. Pacific, 12:06 a.m. Eastern, right here at spacedoutradio.com.
Every night on Spaced Out Radio, we have places for you to hang out. Hi, this is Carl. Join our SOR Space Travelers group on Facebook for live chat. On Twitter, using hashtag Spaced Out Radio. You can also join us in our Spreaker chat room. Check us out on Instagram at Dave Scott SOR. All of our archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. By the way, I'll be watching you at your window until you do. Bye!
Heading to Vancouver and looking for a night on the town? The Moose Vancouver is the bar that never stops rocking until 2 a.m. every night. The Moose has great food with everything on the menu from $6.95 to $8.95. Fantastic, vibrant staff and rock and roll that will bring you back to when the music was real, the hair was long, and the guitars were rocking. Get your party on at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Hey everybody, the SOR Space Travelers is open. For just $5 a month, you can hang out with Dave and our crew privately in our members-only section. With your signing, you'll receive newsletters on what's going on with Spaced Out Radio. You'll have direct contact with the host during the show in our chat, live streaming videos, and a great forum for your posts and more. Become a space traveler now at spacedoutradio.com.
You wanted new SOR gear, and now you can have it. The SOR Vault is fully stocked with t-shirts, hats, hoodies, mugs, and everything in between, with great logos for you to choose from. So head on over to spacedoutradio.com, click on the SOR Vault, and go shopping. Pricing is quite affordable, and you can look good representing your favorite show. So go to our website and pick up your new SOR wear at the SOR Vault today.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
From the heartlands of Canada to beards around the world, we know how to take care of you. Fill your follicles with the Mighty Moose Beard Oil. All our oils and balms are handmade and 100% natural ingredients because we care about your beard. And hey, use the promo code SOR2019 and get your Mighty Moose Beard Oil today. You can check us out on our website, mightymoosebeard.com.
Move over, brother, and let me own Saturday night. This is Rich Giordano, and I'm inviting you to tune on in to Spaced Out Saturdays starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, 12 a.m. Eastern, where I'm going to bust open the lids on everything paranormal. Why? Because we want answers, and I'm the guy who's going to deliver those answers to you. Join the chat rooms, and we'll see you this Saturday. Just be there. No, really.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
Hey, space travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little differently. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, Chive Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
Coming soon to our website, spacedoutradio.com, is the SOR Space Travelers Club. For just $5 a month, you can get into a private area on our site where you can hang with other listeners in our chat room, post in our forum, and check out a bunch of exclusive content and store that won't be found anywhere else, including a nightly after-show party with Dave. It's going to be the best $5 a month you're going to spend. The SOR Space Travelers, only at spacedoutradio.com.
We passed the halfway point of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. Great to have each and every one of you with us. Thank you so much. Want to remind all of you that if you want to check out our archives for free, you can do so at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot. Do me a favor, do a little shopping at our Spaced Out Radio store, which we call the SOR Vault. You can sign up for the SOR Space Travelers Club, $5 a month. We got a great chat going in there tonight. Love you guys in there, rocking it out. Get your horns up for that. And, of course, we got Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire, which is updated daily. Captain Shirk does such a great job while singing Rob Zombie lyrics all day long, so we love her for that. Tonight, it's the SOR Paranormal Round Table, where we're going to turn up the woo a little bit, because I think we got to get a little bit more woo in this. Moving on up, we're joined by Megan Gehring, co-founder of Astral Maids out of Washington State, William Pullin, UFO historian, Jim Malliard from the Malliard Report. He's flown back in. And, of course, Everett Themer from the Spaced Out Radio's SOR Sundays. Everyone, welcome back.
Hey, thanks for having us.
All right. So the other day, I had a back-to-back show about psychic stuff. And you guys know I don't do a lot of psychic I almost swore stuff on here. No, I almost did. You know, before I actually continue, I know the audience, many of them have been keeping a count at how many wasps I killed today, because I got 2 nests in my house, in the corners of my house, and I got to try and get rid of them. I got 2. Out of 4 wasps that I saw today, I killed 2, but one was a real big one. It was like almost an inch long. Big one. I got him. Killed him dead. He's stuck to the side of my wall now.
You know, Dave, every time you kill a wasp, an angel loses its wings.
That's funny.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. Really? You went there, eh? You
Way to
went
go,
there.
Dave.
Oh, no, I'm killing the wasps. I am a wasp killer. I love it. I don't know why. I get home from my daytime gig, and the first thing I do before I even say hello to the family is I grab my squirt gun and I go banging on the sides of my house with a hockey stick. Yeah, so Canadian, I know. And I go trying to kill these wasps. And when they fly out, or the ones that hear the emergency that something's trying to attack the hive, when they fly in, I block the hole with the blade of the hockey stick, and then I gas them with the soap and water. Works perfectly. You know, watching them.
Okay, hold on, Dave, hold on. If you were truly Canadian, wouldn't you just ask them to leave?
I did.
Okay. I missed that part of the story. Okay, continue. Ignore me. Continue.
Well, you know, I mean, hold on a second. You know, I'm a polite Canadian. I did say, hey, guys, it's winter. You better fly out of here. Otherwise, we're going to have some consequences. And then I got swarmed by like 20 of them, and one actually picked me off in the shoulder. So it was game on.
Okay, then it was game on. It was game on. Okay.
Yeah.
I needed to clarify that because I hold Canadian politeness in extreme regard. I mean, I've seen enough YouTube videos, so if one got to you, okay, game on. Continue with the story. You got 2 of them today. Congratulations.
Thank you. I feel proud about that, Ev.
Will you describe the squirt gun that you have? Because I think it's fantastic that a middle-aged man is standing out in his yard playing with a squirt gun.
I don't have a squirt gun. It's a
stick.
squirt. It's a squirt bottle. You know, like
okay. Well, you said squirt gun.
Whatever. It shoots like a gun. Come on. Give me a break here. If we're going to start breaking down squirt bottles, squirt guns, you know, in a time of excitement and joy of killing wasps at this time of year, you know, I just look forward to, you know, to them. I'm now excited about spring when they come back. Okay. I'm excited about spring because I've, you know, without going out and buying a sting-proof suit, I've got the right clothing now that I need to wear. I got everything that I need to make this happen. I'm ready for battle. I'm ready for war here. And the wasps need to pick up their game a little bit and get me a little scared because I'm not scared of them. All right? I am like Chris Wolford on Twitter using Chrisomania and ripping off his shirt, trying to get all excited. Right? That's the way I am. I'm like Chrisomania with these wasps, man. The difference is my way is winning.
True.
Yeah.
That's my contribution. True.
Exactly. I am so there. All right. Getting back to the woo factor. So earlier this week, we had a couple of ladies come on talking about their own intuitive experiences. And the whole debate came about whether or not everybody has the ability to actually go into themselves, find their intuition, connect with their spirit guides, and make things happen. And, you know, I may have the tinfoil tightened a little bit, Everett, but I do believe it's possible. I think we all need to be connected. We just got to be a little bit more open-minded so we could find our zen, our chi, and eventually start talking to ghosts, dogs, cats, trees, grass blades, even the wasps. But those jerks don't even listen. What's your thoughts?
I think, I don't know, you know, coming from, well, first off, I have no abilities, no psychic, no empathic abilities. So I would love to think that there's the potential that everybody can connect to them. But I don't think that's true. I think that because we call them gifts, some people are given those gifts and have those abilities. And those of us that don't have them, we just kind of have to accept that and not try and force it. Because I have seen people who, it's like they decide they're an empath or they decide that they have these psychic abilities. and it doesn't feel genuine talking to them. And I think it's just that they're trying to force it upon them. I think we need to accept the fact that they're gifts, and some of us don't have those gifts.
I don't know. Megan, do you think everybody's connected one way or another?
Well, okay, so connectedness, yes. It takes a lot of self-work, self-discipline, and openness to achieve what I would call, the spiritual, awakening. Okay, so for me, for a really long time, I was unsure and unaware that I could achieve astral. And that in of itself took a lot of self-work and discipline to achieve. Well, before that, I was having such things as, feelings and lucid dreams where I was uncontrolled astral, but also my grandmother had certain abilities. She would have premonition type dreams. She could always predict who was going to call on the phone. Okay, and there was a couple times where, certain situations would arise, and she would almost be like, he's not doing good. I bet you that's the next funeral we're going to go to. And sure enough, it was kind of like a premonitionary type thing. Well, I believe in innate natural ability, but that can be enhanced through self-guided meditation, as well as someone who maybe not believing that they have gifts naturally. That goes into my belief of soul retrieval. Anytime we renew ourselves in this life, we basically have the knowledge of our past lives, but it's stored within. There's some kind of catalyst, whether through trauma or a life-changing event or self-work, that can all be reopened. That is my belief. That is what I encourage my clients to do, is do a lot of self-work. Am I telling you to run to a past life, hypnotherapist or someone who specializes in hypnoregression? No. I am saying you can do this yourself through meditative work, understanding your pros and cons and your flaws, and really being secure with yourself. Every time something happens in your life, you need to analyze it and reflect, and then therefore you will have that growth. Growth equals understanding, it's a cycle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end it there, and I'm just going to say that through spiritual work, you can raise anybody. I honestly believe anybody is capable of this. Understanding yourself ends up, elevating your spiritual standings, and therefore you can have higher attunement into what you're capable of. Now, is everybody a psychic? No. Is everybody a sensitive? No. But you know what? Everybody has intuition. And that intuition is a guide to whatever else is possible for you. I had strong intuition that led me to being an empath, led me to being an astral traveler. And I had to do 10 years of self-work to achieve astral travel, from understanding my ability as an intuitive sensitive. And then I progressed from there. But it was years of hard work, self-discipline, and, trying to really understand raising the vibrations, amending past discrepancies in my life, everything that kept coming up karmically. And I kept seeing repeated patterns. There are seminars, there's TED Talks, there are wonderful teachers out there that have YouTube channels that will hit on these finer points of how to do this. So, that's also what we focus on in Astral Maids, is fixing yourself while we fix your problem of paranormal issue. So, by there, we try to encourage our own clients to uplift themselves. That way they are better, and we can remove their issue, their haunting, their attachment, their curse. And then we go from there. And it makes our job easier once somebody realizes their spiritual potential. Okay? Because, everything is energetically connected. Everything is energetically aligned. And once that alignment is achieved and blockages are removed, it facilitates clearing and healing. So do I believe that somebody can just, have these powers, psychic abilities? Yes, but most are hidden. So through self-work, you can have the potential to unleash all of that. It's just, this is a journey we are on in this life. You have to assess who you are before you can assess what you can do. So with that, I will pass the question off.
Well, of course. Now we're going to bring in William, who's probably going to break our hearts in here and get all scientific-y.
No.
You're going to break our hearts, ruin this whole woo factor here. We're trying to build up some serious woo. Derek needs his woo on a Friday night. And come on, William. Mr. Beige Paint himself. Let's go.
No, I'm going to meet you again. I'm going to meet you halfway. Scientific research has shown that some individuals have some level of psychic ability. Scientists have been unable to determine why, but the data shows that's the truth. Does that mean everybody has the ability? I have no idea. I'm not comfortable saying they do. It's a possibility, but just from a data standpoint, clearly some individuals are more, I don't know what term is more accurate, connected or more open-minded or predisposed to being psychic or predisposed to having the ability to be a little more aware of their surroundings, be a little more aware of themselves and potential events in the future. There's a whole list of things that are, let's say, non-mundane. I guess that's a good term. So there's data out there that strongly suggests that's a reality for some individuals. Does that mean everybody has the ability? The data doesn't show that. I'm not sure if I'm comfortable either way. I'm not sure if everybody has the ability, but I'm not sure if it's limited to just certain individuals. Because if it's limited to just certain individuals, scientifically, you would have to explain why. Why only some individuals? Why him, not her? Why her, not him? That would demand an explanation, and I don't think science can arrive there. So it may be that everybody inherently may have the ability. I would tend to side on that, even though the data doesn't show that, because we're all one species. Even though we have different skin colors and different attributes and different bloodlines, we're all one species. So in a very general way, we all have the same abilities. We all have the same potentialities. So I would tend to lean toward the idea that if some individuals have psychic ability, they may just have it more than others, but everybody has it to some level. Now, whether everybody can access it, that's another question, that needs to be addressed. But lack of scientific data does not invalidate potentialities. It doesn't. The data shows that some individuals have psychic abilities. It does not show that some individuals don't. All it says is that some people do. That doesn't mean everybody that it still means that everybody might have those abilities, and I tend to believe that because again, we're just one species. There's no reason why everybody wouldn't. There's no reason. There's no logical reason. Logically, if some members of a species have an ability, it's a logical assumption scientifically to assume that the rest of the individuals have that ability also. Everybody can jump. Everybody can do math. Everybody can throw a football. Everybody can sew. Not everybody but not everybody is as proficient. I'm a horrible sewer. I can't throw a football. I can catch. I can't throw. Everybody can do virtually everything that can be asked of a human being. But some individuals are proficient. Some individuals are horrible at it. But we can all make the attempt. So psychic ability may go along those lines. Some individuals are pretty good at it. Other individuals are not as proficient but have the ability. Other individuals have it in them but have an extremely hard time accessing that ability. So I would tend to go with that kind of scenario as being the situation from a scientific standpoint. Sorry, Dave.
Oh, of course. See what I'm talking about, Mr. Beige Paint, right there. You know, wearing his khaki pants and probably a vest. That's Mr. William Pullin.
My whole rant there was kind of a grounded way of saying what Megan said. Everybody has the ability. It takes work to access that ability. There's no reason why everybody can't do that. I'm just a little more cautious with my commentary, but it's kind of the same. We're communicating the same message. That it seems to be that everybody has the ability, but not everybody is as good at it, and it certainly at least takes a lot of work with some individuals. So, again, lack of data doesn't mean it's not reality. It just hasn't been determined yet. There you go. It goes back to the adage I've said before: science has limitations. So, that's
all right.
the way it is.
I want to get Duck in here on this one. Jim Malliard from the Malliard Report, in regards to this heavy topic of intuition. What do you think's going on? Everybody got it?
So, here's the problem. If you're calling him beige paint, I'm going to give somebody a black eye right now. And this is going to be fun.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I know, right? Saving the best for last here, bat and cleanup. I've been thinking about this for a second. Well, I think a lot of people have it. I think there are some charlatans out there who profess to have it and really don't have it, and they're ripping people off. Oh, wait, that wasn't the question, was it? Does everybody have the gift?
Go with it. Just go with it.
I think that's
go your own way.
That's the bigger problem with this right now, because there are people who don't necessarily have the fine-tuned gift or realize they even have it, who are desperately seeking an answer from the other side, and they're getting some guy who may have a crystal ball in front of them with the cool little round table, painting a mental picture there for people, who just put on a show and a song and a dance and make you feel good about your loved one that passed, and they really didn't really see anything or connect with anything. They're just there to tell you that they're proud of them and you should continue to work hard and follow your dreams and all this other pep talk, when all they're doing is just hoping the check clears. And that is where the bigger problem lies with me when it comes to psychics, because there's too many of them out there who, well, they can get some things right. Not saying I expect everybody to get everything right all the time, but saying you have a loved one that passed, well, anybody that's been on the planet for more than, 4 years has someone in their life who's passed. So that's kind of a generic statement, and then you just keep building upon it. Some people out there are screaming cold reading. Yes, I know that's what it's called. I just want to be vague about it, but... So, yes, there are people out there who do have the gift, and then there's people out there who claim to have the gift that are just charlatans ripping people off, and there's people out there who may have the gift but have no clue how to access it and just are out there wanting to know more about the other side or something from some loved one, and they're just not necessarily thinking it through when they're out there seeking that answer. So that'd be my buyer beware moment for tonight.
Well, we got about 2 minutes until we go to break here at the top of the hour on the Paranormal Roundtable. See, I do believe that everybody has something special about them. I mean, some more than others. You look at our Twitter crowd, they have a special gift of snarking. It's a beautiful thing. And once it finally clicked in, after I got over my Canadianism, it's pretty damn funny. It really is. I'm not going to lie. Right? Right? But on the flip side, when it comes to intuition, I really do believe that people do have the ability to look inside themselves and find that inner power, that inner strength, or that inner communication in order to do it. Whether it's to your dog, whether it's to the birds outside, the trees, The damn wasps. Well, they don't listen anyways because they're just jerks.
I was going to say.
They're just jerks. Don't want anything to do. I can't wait for tomorrow. I am so excited about tomorrow. It's good. You know, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm probably going to play Eye of the Tiger coming out of my house tomorrow with my spray bottle and the mini hockey stick. Yeah, it's on. It's on. I just got to find a T-shirt to rip right in front of them. That's the truth.
Do it, brother.
That's the truth. All right. Let me tell you something, brother. Those wasps don't know what they're getting into, brother.
There you go, man.
Hour 3 of the SOR Paranormal Round Table coming up after this. Where we're going, I haven't figured it out yet. We'll figure it out when we get here. We'll make it woo-filled right after this in Hour 3.
We're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world, relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio, and while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and leave a comment. See you there.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at MightyMooseBeard.com today.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
For the price of 1 cup of coffee a month, you can become an SOR Space Traveler. The Space Travelers Club is a place where you can interact with other listeners, either live during the show or on our great forum. We want your stories, pictures, comments, and ideas. You'll get live video streams, exclusive content, and be a part of our newsletter. Stay in touch with everything SOR. The Space Travelers Club is just $5 a month at spacedoutradio.com.
Move over, brother, and let me own Saturday night. This is Rich Giordano, and I'm inviting you to tune on in to Spaced Out Saturdays starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, 12 a.m. Eastern, where I'm going to bust open the lids on everything paranormal. Why? Because we want answers, and I'm the guy who's going to deliver those answers to you. Join the chat rooms, and we'll see you this Saturday. Just be there. No, really.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
Every night on Spaced Out Radio, we have places for you to hang out. Hi, this is Carl. Join our SOR Space Travelers group on Facebook for live chat. On Twitter, using hashtag Spaced Out Radio. You can also join us in our Spreaker chat room. Check us out on Instagram at Dave Scott SOR. All of our archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. By the way, I'll be watching you at your window until you do. Bye!
Hey, Space Travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little differently. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, Chive Charities, just go to chivecharities.org /donate.
A little bit of science, a little bit of skepticism. Add a dash of snark and you have the makings of Spaced Out Sundays with me, Everett Themer. Together we will look into the reality of the paranormal with an open eye and rational thought. Oh, did I mention there'll be plenty of woo as well? Your time spent with Spaced Out Sundays will make the night even better. The chat rooms are open, 9:06 p.m. Pacific, 12:06 a.m. Eastern, right here at spacedoutradio.com.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
At spacedoutradio.com, we have a little bit of everything for you to stay up late. So while you're there, check out our SOR Newswire, where our team brings you stories of the weird and strange to the WTF from around the globe. News on Bigfoot, UFOs, paranormal, Darwinian-type crime tales. It's the stories that the mainstream media usually won't touch. Well, we got them all on the SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com. Heading to Vancouver and looking for a night on the town? The Moose Vancouver is the bar that never stops rocking until 2 a.m. every night. The Moose has great food with everything on the menu from $6.95 to $8.95. Fantastic, vibrant staff and rock and roll that will bring you back to when the music was real, the hair was long, and the guitars were rockin'. Get your party on at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Coming soon to our website, spacedoutradio.com, is the SOR Space Travelers Club. For just $5 a month, you can get into a private area on our site where you can hang with other listeners in our chat room, post in our forum, and check out a bunch of exclusive content and store that won't be found anywhere else, including a nightly after-show party with Dave. It's going to be the best $5 a month you're going to spend. The SOR Space Travelers, only at spacedoutradio.com.
The SOR Vault is open for business, and do we have some cool swag for you to pick up? All you have to do is head over to our website and click on the SOR Vault. You have a variety of cool logos to choose from, and put them on anything you want. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, coffee mugs, you name it, we can get it to you. So do your shopping by supporting the store you love. Get your Spaced Out Radio swag at the SOR Vault today.
A timepiece is a reflection of who you are, and what better way to show off the real you than with an Escape watch? Escape is a lifestyle brand accessorizing your days and nights. Choose to escape and create the life of discovery that you deserve. Dream, play, unite with your own personalized Escape watch. Head to escapewatches.com. There is no time like the present to enjoy your escape. Use promo code SMF2017 for your 20% discount today.
Would you like to connect with us? Head to spacedoutradio.com for all your latest show info. Now, back to Dave Scott and SOR.
Third and final hour of Spaced Out Radio is underway tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott. Thank you so much for tuning on in. Hi, Sarah. How are you? Hope you're enjoying the show. Want to say hello to everyone listening in on KDUN, AM 1030 in Reedsport, Oregon. KDNF, AM 1560 in Dangerfield, Texas. UPRN 107.7 FM in New Orleans. In Ridgecrest, California, KZFX 93.7 FM. And we're on WQEE 99.1 FM in Newnan, Georgia. On the digital side, hi to everyone listening in on Revolution Radio and Kingdom of Nye Radio. Great to have you with us. Don't forget, all of our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Yester Tempest. Yester Tempest is your password. Use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website, spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you. Read up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. You can also rock out to Bumblefoot. Do a little shopping for a brand new book at We Read the Night. Join the SOR Space Travelers Club. What a great chat in there tonight. A lot of fun chatting with all of you. And, of course, do a little shopping at the SOR Vault because you could use some Spaced Out Radio swag. Here we go in Hour 3 of the SOR Paranormal Round Table. Megan Gehring for Astral Mage. She's one of the co-founders. We got Jim Malliard from the Malliard Report. William Pullin, UFO historian, and from Spaced Out Saturdays. We got Everett Themer. Everyone, welcome back to the show. And what we're going to get into this half hour is giants. There are many people who believe that, even going back to biblical times, that giants have roamed the earth. There are some people who believe that there are some strange-looking giants that are still out there. I mean, who didn't read those reports from a couple years ago where U.S. Army Special Forces allegedly killed a giant hiding in a cave somewhere in the middle of Afghanistan? And there's reports that Special Forces have been doing that over there. I don't know if I believe it or not, but you know what? It's Friday night. We got to turn up the woo factor here. You know, Twitter needs it. You know, woo is like heroin to them. It really is. So we got to make sure that they get their fix here. So, Megan, you're somebody who spent time in the United States Marines. Once again, thank you for that.
Oh,
did you ever hear about these giants that people in the military were looking for?
I can honestly say no. That was either above my pay grade. I know that was either above my pay grade and my clearance. But I worked closely with classified materials, and never once did I file a document regarding giants. But what I do know is, outside of military involvement, there have been many crypts found with bones of giants. There has been many, let me see, because I got to find the right word for this, which I might be at a loss for. So anyway, I'm just going to go with it. Basically, there has been some interesting accidental targets involved with the Syrian bombings, and supposedly those targets involved either artifacts from graves of giants or proof that giants existed. So I'm just going to put that out there. This is all involved with the most recent Syrian bombings, and let's rewind a little bit to the retaliation that took place for the September 11th, 2001 bombings. In 2003, the Syrian Museum of Natural History was actually the first target, and that housed a lot of history. Okay, so I'm not going to go into like super conspiracy theory with this, but the easiest way to wipe out all those traces is declare war and bomb the heck out of them, right? So that information no longer exists, yet it was on record by hearsay. So I kind of have to scratch my head at that one. Do they exist? I think we wiped that information out. There has been documentation from, the upper parts of, the Syrian area all the way through, Turkey up until the Mongolian region of Russia that encompassed actual reported findings of giants. Do I believe they exist? Yes, I really do. They were spoke about in the Bible. It has been legend and lore up until current day. And then you look at all the people that in that area, especially Turkey region, who have these growth tumors in their pituitary gland. The tallest man in the world right now comes from Turkey. And I think that is very curious because it is something about that region. Even the David and Goliath story from the Bible actually, is taking part in that exact area, that exact band from Syria all the way up to Mongolia. So it's something to take into account and not dismiss.
Everett, what's your thoughts on the giants roaming the Middle East?
And the Middle East specifically, I don't know. I would think that if there were giants back, 2,000 years ago, 5,000 years ago, 10,000 years ago, I would think that we would find more evidence of their existence, whether it be tombs or graves or, a giant isn't going to have a normal size coffee cup. A giant is going to have bigger pottery. And when we find, remnants of civilizations or settlements, and we find pottery or we find things, it's always, within what we would consider reasonable. So, I go back and forth on this because you hear about these stories, and then you look at some of the ones that are even overlooked. Here in Illinois, at the Wisconsin-Illinois border, in a town called Delavan, back in the 1920s, there was reportedly a giant uncovered, buried in the ground. And there is record that the Department of Forestry and some other departments from the interior came in and essentially took this skeleton away and left nothing there. It wasn't the military. It was, one of the departments of the interior. And there's a lot of evidence that they were there, but yet the skeleton is gone. There's no evidence of what happened afterwards. So I'd love to think that giants existed, and I hate to be the downer in this one, but I just don't think that what we would consider giants truly existed. Now, maybe there were anomalies where a particular clan or group of people may have grown to unusual heights of, 7-8 feet. But I have a hard time picturing 12-foot or taller people wandering the planet.
What about Sasquatch? Could they be considered giants, Everett?
I think we need to figure out what they are first before we can consider them giants. I mean, all right. If they're an interdimensional being, maybe they're standard size for wherever they've traveled from, whatever dimension they've come from. If they're an alien race, maybe they're standard size for that. But I think in terms of humans, I just lean towards they did not exist in the way we think they existed.
All right. Jim Malliard from the Malliard Report. What do you think?
I think they're... Oh boy, this is one of the things that I really don't talk about, so you got me kind of in a spot. But I know there's burial mounds that supposedly have them in Ohio. There's all these reports through the years of these giant sightings. I tend to agree with Everett. I think Bigfoot could be, or Sasquatch, Bigfoot, whatever, could be one. Could be if it's interdimensional, or I just don't know. There's too many questions out there. And then I start thinking, the average height of an American man 100 years ago was 5'6" or something like that. Now it's almost over 6 foot. So as through the years, perspective on what giant is compared to what it was, too many questions, which is not a good thing for me. Of course, there's a lot of questions in all these things, but more questions in this than answers for me. Of course, it's not my cup of tea. Not going to lie.
Well, I don't know. Let's get to the scientist, Mr. Beige Khaki Pants, William Pullin.
He's going to tell us they exist, so we're all wrong. We should need to look into it.
Oh, that would be beautiful. That would be beautiful.
Well, clearly there's a potential for anomalies. There are examples of human beings, our species, growing to, say, 8 feet tall. So that, by definition, is a giant. When I think of a giant, I think of a anomaly, a giant man, a giant woman, someone that's overly proportioned as opposed to the normal human being. When I think of a Sasquatch, the way from the reports, they're all tall. They're all large animals. They're not giants they're giants compared to us. But if you took a population that was like 10 Sasquatches and looked at them, examined them all, they would all look like giants. But compared to each other, they would all look very average. So a giant, to my mind, makes me think of an anomaly. From a physical standpoint, you would have found some evidence of their existence. A body, a skeleton, something would have been found, if anything, just by pure accident. Because we're not talking about Homo erectus or Homo habilis that existed more than 2 or 3 million years ago, where I mean, it's very difficult for the human body or hominid skeletons to survive to become fossils. It's very difficult. That's why we find so few of our ancestors. But giants are referred to as being only a couple of thousand years ago. So that's much more in historical times. So you would think that physical evidence of their existence would have been found at least by accident. But that hasn't happened. That doesn't mean they didn't exist. All that means is we can't prove it at this point. When it comes to cryptids and like Bigfoot, those kind of scenarios, I see no reason why a species could not exist, especially like Bigfoot. I mean, the environment lends itself to a creature being able to hide because of the immense forests of Canada and the Northwest. A large animal could hide in that kind of environment. When we're talking the Middle East, we're talking about a lot of barren land, sub-Saharan desert. There's not a lot of trees. There's not a lot of cover. Yes, there are caves, but beyond that, there's not much for a giant organism to hide. There's no places for him to hide or for her to hide. So it's much more problematic for a large species of creature to keep itself hidden from view because there's nowhere to hide. It's not like, you have a forest or an environment where that could be more easily done. So, and yet, yes, there's stories in the Bible about these giants, but I'm uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable with the Bible being used as a historical document. It's a book of faith. Yeah, it's a book of faith, but to use it as an historical document to wrap our heads around the potentiality of a scientifically valid creature, I'm uncomfortable with that. And that's not to say there's not historically accurate stories in the Bible. There are, but there's a lot of other stories that can't be corroborated at this point. So, or have not been shown to be, not valid from a historical standpoint. So, they could have existed. They might have existed, but we can't prove it now because we just don't have a body yet. It's kind of like the argument for Bigfoot. I think Bigfoot is a physical creature. I think he does exist, but I can't prove that until we have a body. So I guess that's kind of a downer, but I'm not discounting their existence per se. I just think we can't prove it until we find, I guess at this point, a skeleton. I don't know if they exist now, but, sorry.
Okay. May I interject just one tidbit?
Oh, the gloves of the woo are coming off.
Oh, they are.
Derek is so excited right now. He is like sweating woo bullets right now on Twitter.
Woo bullets. Okay. Well, strap in. Let's get some woo going. Okay. So I recently watched a documentary where in the higher elevations, the mountainous region of China, basically they uncovered a grave that contained 2 giant skeletons. Now, the skulls alone were over 5 feet long in diameter. So from the crest of the skull top to the bottom of the jaw, they were like 5 to 7 feet. One was 5 feet, one 7 feet. So they figured it was a mated pair of giants. This was publicized within the Chinese government within a day of the publication. The Chinese government came in, quarantined the area, The next day they were allowed in, this group of private researchers, everything was exhumed and gone. So,
Dave, can I ask a question?
Okay.
When we talk about giants, we always seem to kind of bring up this idea that a government or somebody has come and tried to cover it up. What would be the purpose of covering it up? Wouldn't the average person accept the idea that possibly at some period in the evolution of the Earth, there was a race of people who were taller than us? I mean, of all the things we could cover up, why would we try and cover up the idea that giants were once on the Earth?
The same reason we cover up aliens and UFOs.
And Bigfoot, Dogman.
Anything that that has been controlled needs to remain controlled, because the government, if they lie about something, people will start to question what else they've lied about. And then they don't have control anymore.
Thank you.
I just felt the biggest eye roll from William when you said that, Jim. The biggest eye roll ever.
There's valid points on both sides, but my first thought was, okay, how is a cryptid a threat to national security? I just don't see that. Now, I can see the potential for alien visitation being a national security issue. That makes logical sense. If you have a extraterrestrial species visiting us, there's a potential for hostile interaction. That's a safe assumption from a militaristic point of view. But to a recovered body of a physical creature, I don't see how that's a national security issue. But that's my point of view. So
just to throw the carrot back at you, if they're interdimensional, though, and can travel from place to place without being seen or spotted, there's where it becomes a security issue. That's a big if on my part. I don't
how do we prove
personally,
that?
But we don't.
There's no proof of that.
There's that if there.
Are we talking giants or Sasquatch now?
6.5.
I think we're talking cryptids, yeah. If a cryptid is a multidimensional creature and it's traveling from another plane of existence, would that be a national security issue? And I guess potentially, maybe the angle that if a government, an enemy state, was able to wrap their head around how to use that technology against us, that would be a national security issue. But
if Russia had a team of Bigfoots and then infiltrated Canada, anyway.
No, if they learned how to travel in that with that mode of transportation, if they were able to somehow figure out how to travel between dimensions. But I mean, I don't know how to even prove that's happening. I mean, I don't know. It's very difficult. So, but I don't know.
I agree with you on that one.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing it out there as kind of we're going for woo, so we're hitting it.
I still don't see how discovering giants would be a threat to national security, or discovering not discovering giants of today, but discovering the fossilized remains of giants from 5,000-10,000 years ago. I don't know how that would be a threat to national security and need to be covered up.
Well, I mean, they still cover up they still cover up the JFK assassination. So, I mean, let's be honest. I don't think they're in the business of telling us anything.
They don't cover up when a woolly mammoth is recovered. They don't cover up when we recover a giant squid on the beach, and those are much larger than these giants. But somehow that there's a scenario that I don't. I'm with Everett. I agree with that. I just don't. I don't think that's a. I don't see how a cryptid is a national security issue. Unless we can somehow at some point prove that cryptids are coming here through an interdimensional mode of transportation, because then we wouldn't want our enemies to somehow gain access to that kind of technology, or whatever. Now, technology is the wrong word, but but that's the only reason I could see that. So I don't know. It's interesting.
Well, what's interesting is on Twitter that Megan has sent Derek into a woo attack, and the rest of the Twitterites have had to bring out the woo fibrillator to bring him back.
Oh
no, he's loving every minute of it. Loving every minute of this woo attack. We could go more
woo. Do we want more woo? We can crank it up.
Well, let's crank it up. We only got 30 minutes left here on Spaced Out Radio. So the panel, you sit tight. You think about your woo times 10. Derek, you catch your breath over there wherever you are in the Twitterverse at hashtag Spaced Out Radio, because we don't want to break our woo fibrillator. They're hard to find on this planet. We will be back as we start to head home on Spaced Out Radio. At spacedoutradio.com, we have a little bit of everything for you to stay up late. So while you're there, check out our SOR Newswire, where our team brings you stories of the weird and strange to the WTF from around the globe. News on Bigfoot, UFOs, paranormal, Darwinian-type crime tales. It's the stories that the mainstream media usually won't touch. Well, we got them all on the SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at MightyMooseBeard.com today.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
We're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world, relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio, and while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and leave a comment. See you there. You wanted new SOR gear, and now you can have it. The SOR Vault is fully stocked with t-shirts, hats, hoodies, mugs, and everything in between, with great logos for you to choose from. So head on over to spacedoutradio.com, click on the SOR Vault, and go shopping. Pricing is quite affordable, and you can look good representing your favorite show. So go to our website and pick up your new SOR wear at the SOR Vault today.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
Hey Spaced Out Radio fans, it's John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. Our goal is to make the life of veterans, first responders, and those with rare medical conditions 10% happier. We do this by donating one grant item, ranging from vans to therapy programs to prosthetic limbs, to those who need it most. To contribute to Spaced Out Radio's official charity, head over to chivecharities.org and become a donor today.
A little bit of science, a little bit of skepticism. Add a dash of snark and you have the makings of Spaced Out Sundays with me, Everett Themer. Together we will look into the reality of the paranormal with an open eye and rational thought. Oh, did I mention there'll be plenty of woo as well? Your time spent with Spaced Out Sundays will make the night even better. The chat rooms are open 9:06 p.m. Pacific, 12:06 a.m. Eastern, right here at spacedoutradio.com.
Move over, brother, and let me own Saturday night. This is Rich Giordano, and I'm inviting you to tune on in to Spaced Out Saturdays starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, 12 a.m. Eastern, where I'm going to bust open the lids on everything paranormal. Why? Because we want answers, and I'm the guy who's going to deliver those answers to you. Join the chat rooms, and we'll see you this Saturday. Just be there. No, really.
Hey everybody, the SOR Space Travelers is open. For just $5 a month, you can hang out with Dave and our crew privately in our members-only section. With your signing, you'll receive newsletters on what's going on with Spaced Out Radio. You'll have direct contact with the host during the show in our chat, live streaming videos, and a great forum for your posts and more. Become a space traveler now at spacedoutradio.com.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
Heading to Vancouver and looking for a night on the town? The Moose Vancouver is the bar that never stops rocking until 2 a.m. every night. The Moose has great food with everything on the menu from $6.95 to $8.95. Fantastic, vibrant staff and rock and roll that will bring you back to when the music was real, the hair was long, and the guitars were rocking. Get your party on at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Every night on Spaced Out Radio, we have places for you to hang out. Hi, this is Carl. Join our SOR Space Travelers group on Facebook for live chat. On Twitter, using hashtag Spaced Out Radio. You can also join us in our Spreaker chat room. Check us out on Instagram at Dave Scott SOR. All of our archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. By the way, I'll be watching you at your window until you do. Bye!
We've rounded third, and we're heading for home tonight on Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. Thank you so much for joining us. I want to remind all of you, if you've missed most of this show or others, you can always check out our free archives at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website, spacedoutradio.com, where we got a great chat going in the SOR Space Travelers Club. You could join that for $5 a month. Want a new paranormal type book? Go into We Read the Night. We also have the SOR Newswire put together by Captain Shirk, updated daily. You can rock out to Bumblefoot. And have you been shopping yet at the SOR Vault? I think you should, because you look good in one of our T-shirts as well. For the final time tonight, we introduce William Pullin, UFO historian, from Astral Maids, co-creator Megan Gehring, Spaced Out Sunday host Everett Themer, and Jim Malliard from the Malliard Report, and who built our beautiful website. Jim, I got to say before we go on, you've done a hell of a job at building our website, my friend. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. And as I you say that, I'm sitting here looking at it. I'm like, I need to tweak that and that and that and this and this. So this has been painful for me tonight, sitting here spending 3 hours looking at it.
Oh, it shouldn't be. It's a beautiful experience to go on there.
Oh no, it is a beautiful experience. There's just little things that I just see. I'm probably the only one that see them, but I see them. That's the problem.
This is the busiest night our chat has been since we've set it up, which is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Eventually, we want to get everybody over there, and that's where we'll take our questions from
I think it'll be great once more people start to filter in. I mean, takes a while. I mean, to get people to filter in and accept the change. And there's some other changes that'll make listening easier over there eventually. Hopefully, we're getting there. So I can't wait to just continue the process of rolling the ball down the road and see where we get.
I'm probably going to be buying a Team Stump T-shirt here pretty quick because I need one.
As you should.
I totally need a Team Stump T-shirt.
Yep.
That would be wicked. Absolutely wicked. All right. We're going to get into something that Megan is into here. Because every now and again, she'll put on her astral wings and go for a flight. Fighting aliens, ghosts, anything weird on the other side of the realm. It sounds very hokey. It sounds very sci-fi, but for her and people like her, astral travel is very, very real. Megan, what do you see when you are astral traveling? How does it work?
Oh, man. Okay, so basically the foundation of my astral travel is like a slight self-hypnosis. I get into a mode where I can actually send my astral self outside of my body. Okay. If I have a client case in mind, I have their location. Maybe I have some photos of their house and their family members. I can actually send my astral self to their family members, their location, and proceed to manipulate their energy. Okay. And perform some kind of clearing, whether it is removing attachments or just simply raising vibrations. Say I have a client who is suffering from depression or maybe mixed metal thoughts. All that is a simple vibrational raise. Okay, so I go in, I raise vibrations, I shield them. However, a lot of times the client themselves does not even have an inkling of what is plaguing them. I have dealt with poltergeist, low-level demons, true demonic hauntings, shadow forms, which I believe are a myriad of issues. So shadow form to me is something that is inhuman, okay, but it is not demonic. And anybody in the paranormal field can understand what I'm saying, but for the layman, it is something inhuman. It is something that has been promised by technically a dark force to remain here. Okay, so that is why they are so prevalent in places that essentially have lowered vibrations. Okay, mental hospitals themselves, graveyards, places with land attachments, and that's another issue. Land attachments are a whole different thing. You could have curses, you could have native influence over the land. I could talk for hours on what potential hauntings you can have. In the astral plane, I can go in and see everything on a different energetic vibrational level. Okay, so my partner, Sarah Camp, and I, through Astral Maid Services, we can be called in, and we come in astrally after evaluating your circumstances and your situation with the information provided, and we can go down a list and basically come and view your house and or your property or yourself, and we can deduce what your situation is. A lot of people have thought forms. A lot of people have residual hauntings. Most people have like a land attachment or, you know, a family attachment, something that, you know, their ancestors came back to haunt them for. Those are all easy crossings. But essentially, it's very interesting. And Dave, I cannot tell you how many times I'm like, is this even real? Is this even real? Because the accuracy that we present in astral is phenomenal. Okay, we can say it is your aunt. Give the client a physical description. You know, she had shoulder-length brown hair. She wore glasses. She walked with a limp on her left side. And it's like, wait, what? That's my mom's sister. Wow. So, you know, it is one of those things where we work on an energetic level. We pull in the energies. We can read those energies. And then we can rectify the situation by pushing in positive vibrations, spiritual clearing, calling in archangels, and completely removing the situation from you. And then it is up to your own personal protective practices, which we can teach you, grounding and shielding. And then we kind of let your case go and see how you do. We will, of course, do follow-up, but basically, my focus is the astral plane. Now, astral plane is different than you and I talking face to face.
I want to get the other guy. I want to get the other guys in here as well, Megan, because I think you forgot that they were there. You went on a woo trip.
Well, it is so much to explain, and get them in. Let's have a powwow about this. Go for it.
All right. Everett, what do you think she's saying? Do you think that it's possible? Do you think you could jump on the astral realm and, you know, gain a couple of Les Pauls and start flapping your wings?
I think it's possible. I personally don't think that I would have those abilities. And maybe I'm eliminating myself from having those abilities by thinking that. But I believe it's possible, and I've had some experiences with people who have astral traveled. You know that Eric Cooper from Forest Moon, his team came to my office, and they were able to see things that I did not show them, that they should not have known. So I believe it's possible. It's one of those things that it's hard for me to talk about because I have no experience with it.
Your hair does, though, because it's magnificent.
Well, thank you.
William's sitting there quietly rolling his eyes at the astral travel. Okay, beige pants, let's see what you got.
I have no idea what to think about it. I mean, I'm completely unqualified to make a statement.
Me too. Never done it.
Yeah. Never experienced anything like that. So, if there was some scientific data that everybody could come to a consensus about and examine, I could read and wrap my head around what's going on, that would make me more comfortable to talk in that direction. But I have no idea, not at all.
Well, I'm going to tell you a little story before I bring Jim in on this. So the other night, I have the ability to pick up on energy, and the other night, Megan happened to be online. And I had picked up somebody. I'd picked up a female kind of just beyond my sights in the studio window here. And I felt she was staring at me. And normally I'm pretty good at picking up this stuff. Megan knows very well, so does Everett, that I'm weird like that. And so I called Megan in, and I said, Megan, I think there's somebody outside, either remote viewing or astral traveling. And Megan astral traveled over to my house. She meets up with the lady. She's trying to cloak herself because in astral you can pretty much do what you want, when you want, how you want. That's what I've learned about it, which is kind of cool. And so I went outside during one of the breaks to kind of check around where I felt this coming from. And I kept hearing this voice in my head that said, "You can't see me. You can't see me," just like that. And I'm texting Megan as this is going on. Anyways, after a few minutes, I get back into the studio. And I'm sitting down, and out of the corner of my eye, my left eye, because my right eye can't see over towards the window unless I turn my head, I see Megan's face staring at me in the window, and it pulls back. So I said to Megan, I said, "Were you just staring at me through the window?" And she's like, "You saw that?" I'm like, "Yeah." And it was cool because I literally saw her face. Megan doesn't even know where I live. All right. She's never been to my house or area. And yet here I am for a split second seeing Megan's face outside my window and her entire head pulling backwards, kind of like, okay, it's time to back off and leave. It was the strangest thing. And to get confirmation that she was actually looking in, seeing what I was doing, it was pretty freaky cool. Pretty freaky cool. Yeah. What do you think, Jim?
I had to unmute the microphone. That's always special. I think there's something there. Now, remote viewing. I am going to change the subject again. This is good. Because I can't remote view. I've heard stories about it and this, that, and the other. But at one time, I was introduced to somebody from a friend of mine who does Reiki healing, which is long distance healing. And they asked something, and I said, yeah, my shoulder's kind of bothering me tonight. But shit bothers me most nights, being young and dumb and did some stupid things. And he said, sure. And the next thing I know, the pain in my shoulder went away for, well, a day or two. And I went, that's weird. I mean, immediately, while that conversation was going on from then, and like I said, for a day or two, it was gone. Now, is that because I wanted it to be gone, or is that because there was distance healing? Well, I'm a believer in the short term, at least. So, is it possible to see things? If you can see, like I said, I've never seen anything from somewhere I wasn't supposed to be. But if somebody can send energy and heal something, or at least temporarily heal something, I have to believe at least you can see something then. So that's my random woo thought on this whole remote viewing thing, even though it wasn't about remote viewing.
So, Will, what do you think about after hearing that story?
I still don't know. I mean, there are lots of individuals that report to experience these things and have the ability to do these things. I don't know. I mean, I'm coming from a completely inexperienced point of view. I don't have any perspective on it. I've never examined any data on it from a scientific point of view. I've never experienced it myself. I've never interacted with anybody who has done this. So I have no idea, Dave.
Oh, you should go hang out with Megan. See how accurate she can be by coming to your house.
Well, it's interesting because some people that I take on as clients, my partner Sarah and I have gone to their house, and they can pick up the moment that we enter their energetic space because they sense a warming feeling or they get goosebumps, and we are constantly in contact with our client during the care process, okay, during the astral. That way they're not freaking out. They're not having inadvertent anxiety attacks because sometimes our energy, if we are pulling something from them, such as an attachment, can reflect as an anxiety attack. So we try to make contact with our client and then carry on, right? So they're like, oh my goodness, I just felt this rush of warmth, and then all of a sudden, I got goosebumps, and then I felt a whoosh of energy, and that was us removing their attachment. And it never fails. I am constantly surprised what is achievable in astral. And I myself, I'm only about a year and a half into this astral experience. But every time I go astral, I learn something new. I'm always evolving with my astral experiences, and then I have to meditate and figure out what I'm learning and improve on myself and improve on my abilities. And it's one of those things where I am constantly improving to better myself for client care. But never fails, my clients always can sense when we're there and when we are actually removing an entity. And that is constantly like a mind-blown situation because I'm like, wow. So, I mean, guys, I'm sorry you've never experienced astral, but, I mean, I don't know. Hi. You know, you guys need some astral ramification. Check me out. You know, we're here. We do free services, whatnot, but the thing is, it is all paranormal related. And that is something that we do as a profession. And it is something we enjoy doing. It is a never-ending learning experience for us. And I think that the value in it is within the paranormal community, we actually can provide information versus just speculating about it, because we have a deeper understanding from doing the astral experiences.
Everett, what are your thoughts?
Like I said at the beginning, I believe it exists. I believe it's possible. It's hard for me to comment on it because I don't have any experience firsthand with it. I do know of people, like I said, that have astral traveled to my office, and I believe them. I wish I had the abilities. I'd like to try and have the abilities, but I just don't. So it's very hard to comment on it. But I can sit back and listen to Megan explain it and feel like I understand it a little bit more.
Well, it's interesting indeed. And you know, guys, it's that time where we got to astral travel out of here. We do. We're into the final minutes. So, Jim Malliard from the Malliard Report, thank you so much for coming on. Everett, thank you for coming on from Spaced Out Sundays. Megan from Astral Mage, really appreciate you astraling all over the place and really turning up the woo tonight. And for Derek's woo attack. And Mr. Beige Pants, absolutely love you, my friend, William Pullin. Always. It's been a great roundtable. Our next one will be on, well, let's see here, Friday, November 29th. It's going to be interesting. We're already booked through this show right through the first week of December. Already.
Good for you.
My goodness. That's literally 5-6 weeks in advance right now. That's how popular we are right now. It's kind of cool to see that. But the roundtables, they'll always be booked for the final Friday. And that's what we're going to do here. So thank you guys, everyone, for coming on tonight.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Thanks, Dave.
No, not a problem. Not a problem. Coming up tomorrow, Little Richie G is back in SOR headquarters with Spaced Out Saturdays. It's always going to be a great time. And then on Sundays, Everett will take over the studio for Spaced Out Sundays. I will be back on Monday to hang out with all of you for another great week. We kick things off on Monday with Butch Witkowski. How excited are you for his return? We got Mr. Ron Bumblefoot THAL rocking in the background with the Little Brother Is Watching. Bumblefoot is the official music of Spaced Out Radio, rocking us in and out of every single show. Get your horns up for the guitar god himself. Special thanks to everybody listening in at home, in your cars, at work, in our chat rooms, especially everyone in the Space Travelers Club on our website. Join it for $5 a month on Facebook, the Space Travelers Club there. We have Spreaker, Revolution Radio, LGAB, and Twitter at hashtag Spaced Out Radio. Remember, this show is copyright by Spaced Out Radio and SOR Media Ventures Limited. Thank you so much for sharing your evening with us, because together, my friends, we're watching. We own the night. Mr. Bumblefoot, we need a favor. We need you to take us home and into the weekend. Have a good night, everybody. Enjoy your weekend. Remember, we're here 7 days a week for you. So check us on out. Rich Giordano, Saturday night. Everett Themer, Sunday night. I'll be back Monday. Good night.